Today we explore the remarkable transformation of a man who once went through anxiety and joblessness, who was brave enough to take a plastic surgery. Now, not only living the largest life in Dubai, but reigning as the biggest tokenomics expert in the heart of Web3. This is the story of Bux Khurana. Welcome to the podcast Going Deep with myself. Today we have an expert token economics, but in Web3 people don't tell you what they actually do. They are doing multiple and amazing things. And this guy is about to be a millionaire. Please welcome Bux Khurana on the podcast.
Thank you. I have many things, but I'm not even close to a million.
You guys are very humble, huh? They don't tell.
I'm not humble. I'm wearing the chain. I'm not humble. I'm just honest.
That's a gold chain. Look at this. These are diamonds.
It's a $2 chain from AliExpress.
Go ahead. So Loki. Go ahead. Yeah. So Bux, give short brief about yourself, like as if you are your own PR agent and you are telling about yourself. You're selling yourself in 5 sentences or something. Tell the audience that who exactly you are. Who is Bux?
Yeah, the set of people who have to sell themselves and the set of people who don't have to sell themselves are different. So I'm glad you consider me as the set of people who need to sell myself.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, if you were your PR agent, you would. I wouldn't know.
I mean, Elon Musk's PR agency is not anyways.
Go ahead.
So I've been in Web3 for a while, helped a few projects here and there, done a few things. Now I'm living in Dubai, doing a few things again. So before I get into what I do, let me make something clear about Web3.
Yeah.
In Web3, the people who make money are not the people who you think are making the money. Right?
Interesting.
All the people who everyone thinks is making all the money is not making all the money. So I've managed somehow, after years of trying, to associate with the people who are making the money.
Okay.
And all of it is very, very, low key and not in front of the camera.
Interesting.
But that's what I do.
Okay, so people who make money are not visible in the community. They're always behind the stage. So real money is behind the stage. You don't need to be on the stage.
It's true. So a lot of people, I hope a lot of people recognize this logo, right?
Oh.
So this logo was from my last startup, which failed.
Can you show it? Oh,
the Trident.
The Trident. Okay, go ahead.
So what this startup was doing is we had created virtual avatars. At that time, Metaverse was the hot thing. So
this is about which year?
Last year, okay. Yeah. So we created these virtual avatars where you basically facially motion capture yourself and, it creates a 3D avatar of this. And at that time, we thought that the use case was to create virtual celebrities. We thought that we'll create virtual influencers and we'll create decentralized influencers and stuff like that. But the people who found the most interest with this are the crypto scammers who want to get on video calls without showing their face.
Okay.
The people who are doing all the illegal shit. Now, of course, we're not associating with them. Or if we are, we're not going to say it in front of the camera.
But somehow your right audience were scammers.
Yeah, which is why we shut things down, which is why we didn't. People offered a lot of money to take our software, but we didn't. Ethics is one thing, but it's just I didn't want to have the potential of ruining my reputation. So
if some tech is being used, that's also in Web3 and AI. So like in Web3 and AI now it's coming. I think the question comes about how ethically we can make money or not, because there is a lot of potential for us to, as a creator, as a founding, people who makes things and having a wider audience, we have power to create things which could be used in a very bad way. So what do you think about that? I mean, do we be authentic? Should we be authentic and be ethical around making money, or we just like, okay, it's fine, things are gonna go bad anyway, are we at the beginners, let's make money? What do you think? Like, honestly.
I mean, see, there's no answer of what is good and what is bad, right?
Okay.
Like if I ask you, is slapping you in the face bad right now? Now you will think so, right? But it depends on the situation. Like if you had stolen my money, then somebody would say, yeah, good idea, you slapped him on the face, right? So
or your friends eating cheap and masti mein you okay.
Exactly. So it's very contextual. Every good or bad decision has so many factors around it as to why it's good or bad, right? For example, I was watching this movie, I think just last night, where this guy, he didn't have any money and he was a famous boxer, but when he started out in childhood, he used to rob people and steal their money. But nobody would ever say, oh, why you're so bad because you're stealing money, right? Even though stealing money is a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
But because he didn't have money, because he was in a poor neighborhood where crime was common, now he's allowed to steal money. My whole point is that good or bad is so relative. So I don't think there's any answer to that question as to should we be good and not make money or be bad and make money. But I think the biggest problem in Web3 right now is that people are building in public.
Okay.
I think when people build in public, it's too difficult to not care about your own image as a founder. And I think this is one of the mistakes I made with Battle Astra as well, is that I was so concerned with what people thought of me that I was not willing to do things that would make me look bad. And make me look bad does not mean legally. Make me look bad could mean make me look like a failure. Make me look bad could make me look like somebody who does not have knowledge. Like I was going on TV interviews even back then when I had far less knowledge than I have now. Right? But I still would, cover up that image and, tell the interviewer, don't ask me this, don't ask me that.
Interesting.
But now I feel that just don't build in public, build in private.
Interesting. So, I mean, but building in private wouldn't take that away from you already, like going out and giving interviews. If you're building something in privately, you're not telling anybody, right? So, wouldn't that result into not going into the public and interviews, giving like...
See, you either build a startup to get yourself famous or to get your startup famous. And again, big problem with Gen Z entrepreneurs. Okay. They'll start a company, 2 days later they're posting about, in my company I'm facing this struggle and this is how I handled it. And it's all bullshit.
All the glorification of struggle.
Microsoft building in public?
No.
Was Google building in public? No. So, I mean, building in public sounds good as a concept and may give you a lot of fans and get you interviewed and make your ego feel good. Okay. But it's not good for the business.
So if I have to redefine your definition of building in public, people who announce their things and one by one they tell the world that, I'm building this, I'm doing this, and tell the people.
Yeah, at least at the early stage, don't do that.
So the voice is greater than the doings of it?
Yeah. It's about making yourself look good rather than a future where your startup looks good.
Okay, so it's like, I am building this rather than I am building this.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Awesome. So we talked about building in public and building in private. So now to imagine you are going to choose to build in private, right?
100%. Yeah. I'm only building in private. If anybody asks me what I do,
I
don't answer. Like, what did I answer here? I said, I make money. I don't even make that much money, but it's just like I do everything in private. Why do I have to, like, the camera can know me for my opinions on a lot of subjects, but they don't need to know what I'm doing, because when you start a startup, it's like you're running in random directions at all points of time. You're just searching for what works. And let's say today I go in the market and I say I'm launching this, and then tomorrow I realize it was a bad idea, and by tomorrow I mean literally the next day I realize it's a bad idea, and then I launch something else, and then I realize that was a bad idea, and then day 3 I launch something else. My audience will be like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
Okay.
Right? So if you have an audience already, it gives you one shot. And in that
one shot of reputation.
Yeah.
You gone.
Correct.
Okay.
Like so many big creators in Instagram and YouTube and all have launched companies and they failed. And for the rest of their life, they carry that baggage. Even though the audience might forget, but they carry the baggage that, my audience thinks I'm a failure.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But how it works, in the spirit of creating a good product, because I come from the product background, you're supposed to launch like 10 different ideas at the same time. Like, do you think Microsoft is just launching one thing? No. The managers of Microsoft are launching 10 different ideas, split testing, and choosing the one that works and taking it forward. And they launch these hundreds of or thousands of ideas every month. And it's done in a very different way. For example, let me give you an example of what Amazon used to do. So they used to say that, we have this new feature coming up. Now, how do they know if this feature is good or bad for the company? So they would create a button saying this feature is coming up, and when you click that button, there's nothing. But they know how many people click the button.
Yes, they have the data.
They have the data how many people click the button. So they know that for every 1,000 users, 200 click the button. Which means maybe it was not a good button to have.
Okay.
And how much money has this saved you, right? They just didn't build the product. They just got the answer without building it. This is called lean as a principle of building products.
Testing with the current audience.
Yeah, it's just testing and A/B testing.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so now let's move to a funny question. What do you think if alien would come on this planet? What would they think of Web3 if alien comes?
So depends on whose definition of Web3. If by Web3 you mean Bitcoin,
in general, overall, the whole everything, like alien comes and like the people are talking about Web3, what they will say.
So think that there is a 0.1% actual use case.
Okay.
Which is being capitalized by all sorts of idiots to take money from poor people.
Yeah.
I said it.
It's right. It's right. So you, in general, we also talked to, okay. So in general, you are saying that 90% of the Web3 startups are bad.
Not 90.
99?
Yeah.
So the facts are revealed, guys.
There's only one.
Whatever you are saying right now, it's all fake. No, but in the real use case, if you see, so like AI is coming on board, right?
Yeah.
So but it has a great adaptation because it has use case.
Everybody don't agree with this also, But why also could have had use case.
But why everybody is failing? Why normal person that I saw on the road in Dubai Marina is there? What is Web3? Like why they have to ask that question? I'm always wondered that. Is it reachability? Is it complexity of the Web3?
The world is controlled by a set of people. You can call that the matrix. You can call that whatever you want.
We are in the matrix.
We are in the matrix. But anyways, we can call that whatever we want, right? And these people decide what happens. If these people feel Bitcoin is good for the world, Bitcoin will be the currency. If these people feel that we should not have AI at all, we'll not have AI. Okay. And this is not conspiracy theory. Like when I say there are people controlling, I'm not saying that there is a room full of people sitting in dark suits. No, it's not that.
Oh.
It's that there is some force that is that is making decisions on behalf of governments, right? Like people say that the conglomerates control the governments, but then who controls the conglomerates, and then who controls the people who control the conglomerates? Like this,
it's like it's like a circle of multiple entities that are controlling the world. But I mean, you were right. Google has the power to control a lot of 2 billion devices they have.
Yeah.
Apple has so many devices in their hand. They're controlling the ecosystem. So in some way, Microsoft, all these big conglomerates have kind of power to create products that would shift the mind of the people.
Yeah.
And give them direct access to the product.
Correct.
So they are responsible so we are kind of in a matrix controlled by people.
We are. Could be people, could be aliens, could be lizards, could be dolphins. I hope it's dolphins. I really like dolphins.
Are we in a simulation?
There was a very long period of my time when I truly believed that we are. I still don't think it's impossible.
Someone is making you do this now?
I mean,
really? That you believe?
It's a belief. So this was the time when I was really into statistics, and it's statistically proven that the likelihood that we're in a simulation is far higher than the likelihood that God exists. That God exists.
God exists. Okay.
Now, I'm very religious. I don't. I'm not an atheist by any means. I post things from religious texts all the time on Twitter, but my whole point is that who knows, man? Who knows what's going on?
Nobody.
Just do your thing and leave. That's my opinion.
We'll shift to any subject now. So do your thing and leave. So what do you mean by do your things and leave? For example, right now, what is the purpose of anything and everything? What is your purpose in general? There's no purpose?
Yeah, that's the best part of it, right?
Really?
If there was a purpose, then I would be stuck to that purpose. Now, since there is no purpose, I do whatever the fuck I want.
Okay.
If today I want to sit on the 97th floor in Dubai and give an interview with you, I do it. If tomorrow I want to be in Bali with a large number of Indonesian babes, I do that.
We'll get back to that.
No, we're not getting back to that.
Secrets are going to be revealed. Nobody's spared on this podcast. I tell you. Once you are here, it's all open. Go ahead.
No, but the point is, right?
Purpose,
in the end, everything is your choice. People like to blame other factors, but everything is your choice. And if you do what you choose. Like if I choose to have a diversified investment portfolio in mutual funds and stocks, I have a diversified portfolio. Yeah, if I choose that I make my entire money and then I spend that on a wristwatch, I can do that. It's my choice.
But before choosing that, I tell you one thing that I'm kind of, or someone, people like me are struggling. Before making that decision is driven by what I have seen out in the world, like social media, meeting new people. I think they're having cars. I think I need to have a car. Blah 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 blah. But what is really for me? How do you find yourself that this is the right thing for you to do?
There's nothing right for anybody to do.
But
you just keep playing games.
I need to play. What if for example, I bought a car, but I don't like the car. I
dump it in the river. I know. I'm not saying forget the money aspect, but it's do whatever the fuck you want. Now, as long as you know the consequences of what you're doing, and you're okay with the consequences, do whatever you want.
How do you find yourself, like true Bux, like your true self? For example, I tell you, you don't like going to bhajan kirtans, honestly, okay. But if you are surrounded by people who made you believe that this is one of the best thing in the world, and you would feel fulfilled and everything, so you took this road now. But your real self would want to be on this road. But you being surrounded by people who made you believe that this path is right, and now you went to this road, how will you be able to find yourself? You will be completely lost.
There is no real self. If your real self takes you here, then this is your real self. Real self is only in hindsight.
Okay.
It's like saying, is Bitcoin a good investment? In hindsight, yeah, I wish I'd bought Bitcoin, but in the future, who knows? Maybe it goes to zero. Maybe it goes to $100 million.
So it's like it's either it's a good thing or it's a very famous thing.
Yeah, you just know it when you're looking back. Am I going to live a good life? I will know when I'm about to die if I lived a good life.
It's always okay. There's this famous reel or something that is surrounding in the world that people will ask question, what if I had taken a job in medical? Was it good for you or bad? I don't know. It could be good. What if you did this?
I truly believe that we're living in the best possible reality. And I'll tell you my theory around this. Okay? This is going to sound like conspiracy theory. I know all you internet nerds are going to get angry. And none of it is scientifically backed, which is what makes it true. So let's say hypothetically, time travel were to exist.
Okay.
What is the first thing that you would do?
I would go back when the Bitcoin was invented and
forget that.
Okay.
Let's say we have a technology where you can go back in time. I would take that technology, go back in time and teach it to myself 10 years ago so that I invent time travel, right? And the person who invents time travel owns the world basically, right?
Okay, yeah.
So then what happens? That means somebody else knows that time travel has been invented when I was 10 years old, which means that person knows the invention of time travel and takes it to when he was 10 years old. And then somebody else takes that invention to when... So we go back to the start of time, right? Yeah. And then what happens? Once we have invented time travel at the start of time,
broken the theory, they've broken the time.
Everything is broken, right? Yeah. Which means what do you do? What does the last person do? He makes sure that time travel cannot be invented.
Oh, so okay. So it's like all zero. It goes back to zero.
Yeah, which is why I believe right now time travel can't be invented, right? Which means
someone has already gone back in time and made someone forgot time travel exists.
Which means someone has already gone back in time and chosen the best future.
Okay.
Because this person can choose all the futures of. There are infinite
anything can happen.
There are infinite
timelines.
But someone has chosen the best one already.
Okay. So
this is my belief.
We are already living the best.
We're already living the best life.
Best possible timeline.
Yeah.
If there are multiple timelines, all the other timelines are either broken or there is a chaos in that. Are we living in the Marvel universe or what?
We're in the best timeline. Like, truly. I mean, think of it this way. Like, just 500 years ago, having a building this tall was impossible. Forget 500. 50 years ago.
50 years ago, yeah.
50 years ago. 50
Dubai was nothing at all. I mean,
50 years having a building of 104 floors, which is the height of this building.
Impossible. No one could imagine.
Yeah. So, what's going to happen 50 years from now? And then 50 years from then, right? So, we are living in the best future possible.
And based on the Moore's law, like the growth is going to be so fast.
I mean, Moore's law has been proven wrong many, many times. Like, they always say Moore's law is getting reached and then something happens and then it's not reached.
It just keeps going up.
Yeah, it just keeps going up. Like, we are truly living in the best possible world. We are living the best lives.
Okay. So, talking about the best lives, we'll move ahead.
Fuck you.
No, I really want to go. Okay, we talked about Web3, right? And I don't want to go in a conversation where everybody's talked about Web3 is this and very hard to adapt. Everybody's talked about this.
Yeah.
No, like let's.
So you're going to another conversation, which also everybody has talked about.
But not in the context of in general. Yeah, which everybody has talked about. But yeah, I want to know about. You love Andrew Tate, right?
I wouldn't say that on camera. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Neither confirm or deny. But the mindset, the most important thing is a person sitting in front of me is their mindset.
No, I hate one thing about Andrew Tate.
What?
That he does not respect the ocean.
No. Yeah, really?
Yeah, have you seen his reels about the ocean?
No.
He does not respect the ocean. Like or maybe he super respects it, but he won't swim in the ocean.
Why?
And I don't agree with that. He's just scared, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't call him out. I mean, I'm sorry. But
is he going to hear this?
Who knows? Who knows? Some guy might clip it. He has a fucking clip farm.
Okay, but honestly, like Because it's a
I don't
nature,
like the fact
beautiful
that
nature outside. It's
I mean,
emotion we are
I
seeing
feel if Andrew Tate ever held his breath and went down 30 meters and saw the world that was there, he would never come back.
Yeah, he's hiding himself. Or
I mean, see, scuba diving is gay, but holding your breath and going 30, 40 meters underwater, that's
the game.
That's the game. Like, that's the true, you learn about yourself. I'll give you an example. So my brain is all the time thinking and like thinking at fast speeds. Some people call it ADHD, but whatever, call it whatever you want.
Okay.
Right? But when I'm 30 meters at the bottom of the ocean and I've held my breath for 1 minute, my brain is not thinking. It's only thinking of one thing, of going back up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's only thinking of one thing. And I feel most people kind of have never felt that sensation, especially in this world where everybody's like doing 7-8 things at once. Texting somebody, watching a reel.
Exactly.
There are people who text and then go back, watch a reel, and then text again, and then watch a reel.
Yes.
Sometimes
nobody's doing one thing at a time.
Yeah. So, and sometimes you're texting 4 people, and you're watching reels while doing it, and you're also at work, and somebody's talking to you. Yeah. So, having a situation where you're only thinking of one thing is something that I feel Andrew Tate has never seen. Maybe in jail when he was there for 3 months and he only read the Quran.
I'm surprised he's reading Quran. It's a religious book.
So
it's a religious book, but before he got very viral, he was sounded misogynistic.
I mean, see,
but people who defined him misogynistic, they were questionable. What do you think?
So he's a misogynist.
Okay,
but what's wrong with being a misogynist?
No.
What's wrong with being a misogynist?
What is being a misogynist? Like insulting
people?
So
I have asked my therapist the same question. Okay. Because at that time I realized that maybe I was as well. So there are 3 characteristics. One is that they have a lot of partners. 2 is that they objectify their partners, that they describe them based on their body. And 3 is that they talk about their partners a lot.
Okay.
Now, by this definition, a lot of us are misogynists. But I don't see what's wrong with that. I mean, it's my life. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. I know the consequences. I know that a lot of people will not like me, which is why I personally don't make these statements on social media. But if somebody knows the consequences and is okay with the consequences, let him do what he wants. Free world.
But isn't being misogynistic hurting other people or hurting women?
I mean, many things are hurting many people. Everything is in the end hurting somebody, right? Okay. Like there's nothing that's not hurting anybody. Like if I walk from here to there, probably putting some dust on the floor and some basic cleaner, so I'm technically hurting him, making him work 1.5 extra seconds.
That is unknowingly. But what if being misogynistic is knowingly hurting a woman? What do you think?
I mean, again, there is a very thin line between me holding a gun to your head and shooting it and me accidentally shooting it.
Okay.
Right? And yes, one might say that that's a conscious decision, but what is the conscience anyways? Right? Maybe someone brainwashed me into shooting you. Now whose decision was it to shoot you? Right? Maybe someone manipulated me and brainwashed me, or maybe someone put an electric signal into my brain and controlled me with a robot and made me shoot you. Now, was it conscious or unconscious? Or maybe someone made me want to think that I want to shoot you.
Maybe we are in a simulation.
Maybe we're in a simulation. Have you watched Rick and Morty?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. 5 times.
I've watched it 11 times.
Oh, okay.
And I think Rick and Morty is what first put me in the depression and then took me out. Yeah, because
it took me out of depression.
Yeah, so I got into Rick and Morty when season 2 had just released.
Oh, okay.
This was, I think, in 2015 or 16.
Okay.
And I was like hardcore.
Same.
Season 2,
I even watched their animatics. They would put their animatics out and animations and everything. Go ahead.
So Rick and Morty has this game called Roy.
Yeah, the Roy. Yes. Amazing game.
We could all be Roy. I mean, who would know, right? Like, if we were Roy, you would have the exact same behavior. You would probably believe that you're not Roy. And even if you didn't believe, you still tell me that you're not Roy.
Okay. If someone is putting their headphones on and I am that person's playing life and I could die and there'll be just 10 seconds of him putting out of headphones.
Yeah.
Interesting. Rick and Morty is a great concept to understand. So if you've not watched it, please watch.
And if you watch it, I can tell you're probably a virgin.
No, I'm not. I'm here watching
it. No, man, I was heavily into it.
No, yeah. But what character do you think you are from Rick and Morty?
Rick.
Really?
Everybody thinks they're Rick.
But they are Jerry. Everybody is a Jerry. I tell you.
You think you're a Rick, but you're a Jerry. No, it's true.
It's true. true. It's
I've
true.
seen so many people who think they're Ricks, but they're actually
But
Jerry.
they're actually Jerry, yeah. And it's okay being Jerry. It's fine. Take a chill pill.
Whatever you want. Your life.
It's your life. Whatever
I'm not telling you how to lead your life. You don't tell me how to lead mine.
Let's going ahead with our last conversation about masculinity. Do you think the world has become men has become less masculine,
Yeah.
or
Yes or
men
no?
has become more sensitive?
Who knows? I feel it's got more polarized.
Okay.
I think the masculine men have got too masculine, and the rest of the men have become too feminine. Like, that's just my opinion. And we're seeing this with the dating markets, right? So, like, since Tinder has come into the market, since people have started using Tinder, the percentage of guys who get enough girls that they can't meet in their entire lifetime has shot up. Earlier, it was just Genghis Khan, who had as many women as he wanted. Now, every city has one such guy who can get as many women as he wants. Like, the top 1% guy on Tinder is living a very different life from you and me.
Okay. Because he's just so handsome and masculine. And
Forget handsome. Like, you don't know how that guy is defined, right? Like, he could be very rich, he could be very handsome, he could be everything.
Very good in conversation.
Whatever.
Simply
Yeah.
good in
Whatever.
conversation.
Yeah. But the top 1% guy on Tinder is leading a very, very different life from the bottom 99%. And this is getting more and more polarized, right? Like, so there was this one tweet where someone asked, what happens when people start dating in the metaverse? I mean, good question. I feel all that's going to happen is it's going to get more polarized. Like, the guy who learns how to play the game in the metaverse
will win.
Depends on how to win, but we'll have as many partners and as many options as he wants. You know?
Okay.
I'm not going to get into the philosophy that women are hypergamous and one man should have many women and all that. I may believe it.
To ask in that
I may
direction.
believe it. I may not believe it. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
any controversial question I'm going to ask him will be like, I can neither confirm or deny. When he says I can neither confirm or deny, you know the answer. If anyone ever answers that, you know the answer. So,
no, but it's true. Like, see, women, like, everybody will choose their best choice. It's not just men, it's women as well. And I'm sure this has happened to you. Like, you have a partner and you're like, you know, this one thing is wrong about this person.
I was Rick and Morty. But go ahead, yeah.
So, like, you have a partner and you're like, you know, this one thing, if she had changed, she would be perfect. And then you find somebody else who has all of her traits and that one thing. And then you're like, you know, if she had just this one thing, she would be perfect. Okay. And then you find another person, and that cycle never ends. Never. You know, there are the guys who chase the most beautiful women, right? There is no such thing as the most beautiful woman. Every time you find the most beautiful woman, there is going to be someone more beautiful than her, right? And that game never ends. You can go through entire planet Earth and you'll never find the most beautiful woman because that concept does not exist. Okay.
There's nobody's. I mean, everybody's beautiful yet.
Like, richest human, yes, you can calculate because it's a number.
Okay, but beauty is something
it's so subjective.
Individual defines.
Yeah, like maybe in this millisecond, I think that she's the most beautiful woman. But next millisecond, some butterfly effect from some sand shift causes me to find maybe this one is more beautiful.
Or maybe you just met someone random person and just talked to you so nicely that you felt this person.
So that only happens with the bottom 80% of guys. The top 20%. I'm not saying I'm top 20%. I'm not even close to that.
But I want to know what do you think about it?
When I talk to guys who have like many options, they're very, very critical when they talk to girls. They don't like get swayed by the emotions.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. So men should not get swayed by emotions?
Fuck no. You should get swayed by emotions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
It's just that if you've been with 200, 300, 500 girls,
okay,
you never get swayed by emotions. Which is why I truly don't want to hit that number. I truly don't want to hit that number. I don't
just a few amounts, like 20, 30.
I'm not going to confirm that.
See, the game. You understand the game. How humble.
I neither confirm nor deny that.
Question. This is not plastic, by the way.
It is. It's AliExpress.
But in general, as we were already going in the men should have multiple partners in the old times because the sperm of men is supposed to consume.
Who knows, man?
Nobody knows. Nothing.
Nobody
science.
knows.
Nobody proves.
Science is bullshit. Like so. I feel my personal belief. Nobody has to believe this. I'm not telling you to believe this. Is if you can support a woman, you keep her. If you can't support her, don't keep her. You know, we see too many guys who can't support their wives, and the wives are having to be a maid in someone's house, or do do some work that she doesn't want to do. She's living a terrible life just because she chose this man. I feel that's not good. I wouldn't want, if I didn't have any money, which there's obviously a future where that happens, I would not have any women in my life at all.
So, I mean, we talked about Web3, we talked about a little bit AI, we talked about masculinity.
You talked about masculinity.
He didn't want to touch because he didn't want to confirm and deny. You can see, man. You can see the masculinity. You can see the. Okay. We have just a few more minutes.
Until he knocks, we can keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. So, we were moving. We talked about masculinity and all this stuff. So we talked about how to be yourself, and what we're going to cover is what is something that you always wanted to talk about, you never told anyone, your belief or your theory, something that you know that nobody else knows, something that you know but nobody else knows, and the world should know
that God exists.
Really? I believe it doesn't, but go ahead.
That God exists.
Amuse me.
I truly believe that God exists, and I've been atheist, and being atheist is a good thing.
Okay.
My opinion is that people who are atheists are very curious. They have critical thinking.
Or analytical.
Critical thinking. Right?
Uh-huh.
And what happens is when you have a lot of critical thinking, you end up becoming religious and you end up believing in God. I've seen this everywhere. All the people who are atheists, who have very strong critical thinking, at some point become hyper-religious.
Oh, really?
And that's me as well. I was super atheist. So I grew up in a family where my parents were different religions, right? So this is not something we ever talked about. We were not a religious family, but now I'm super religious.
Okay. So you do go to the temple and everything?
I'm not Hindu. I'm Sikh.
But you go to
the Gurdwara? Yeah.
Here there is Gurdwara.
In Jabal.
You go regularly?
No. It's not like Sikhism is a bit lenient compared to Islam and Hindu. And I don't believe in following the religious practices, but I believe God exists.
Believing in the heart and...
Yeah. And so Sikhism has a saying, I don't know what it is in Punjabi, but it means that God is wherever you are.
Okay.
You can just sit here and pray to God and God will be here. It's not as if God is only in the temple.
Okay.
This is a thing in Sikhism. I don't know what it is in Punjabi, but I believe that. I believe that you can pray wherever you want. You don't have to be in the temple or something like that.
Okay. People should know that God exists and they 100%. Should believe in God.
God exists and what does that mean?
Will believing that solve all of their problems?
No. God gives you problems, but forget that.
No, that's a controversial statement.
Forget that. When I say God exists, I don't mean that you should become religious, go to the temple, wear the dresses and all that. What I mean is that you should know that there's someone looking at what you're doing at all points of time.
Okay. It's like texting someone and not being misogynistic and having in your mind that everybody's going to screenshot and be broadcast everywhere.
No. Even if nobody knows what you do, there's someone who knows. And it always comes back.
So always be authentic.
Yeah, man.
When you said in the beginning, let's bring all the things to beginning. Earlier in the beginning, we decided there is nothing good or bad. Yeah. But when we believe in God,
but and if knowing you believe that something is bad, if you believe God will hate you for doing something, don't do it.
Exactly. So to conclude, like everything, we believe that is God, and we should not do bad.
Depends on what you believe bad is. If you
hurting someone is bad, then
if you believe
killing animals is...
If you believe that, if someone is trying to kill my mother and I shoot him in return, I don't think that's bad. Do you think it's bad? If someone holds a gun to your parents and you kill him,
that's very high. But what if someone is not holding your gun to your mother?
Then it's bad.
Yeah, okay. So that's it.
My whole point is that
if we go against nature,
forget all these statements. It's all statements. It's like if you believe something is bad. If right now I believe that if I punch you in the face and break your nose, it's bad. I truly believe that right now in this moment. Maybe 1 hour later
I did something to you, then you wouldn't believe that.
Yeah, but right now I believe that, which is why I want to do it. And I believe that scamming hundreds of thousands of people with a crypto token and taking their money is bad, which is why I don't do it. I've never launched a crypto token. I will never launch it, or at least the type of token that takes money from people. Yeah.
You have to be politically correct.
I mean, I'm a tokenomics guy. I know how to make tokenomics so that people make money. But nobody wants to make those tokenomics. People want to make tokenomics that make them money. Which is why I never tell people who my clients are, because they all want to make glorified rug pulls or glorified Ponzi schemes.
Exactly. So, believe in God and don't do bad.
Yeah.
And don't launch a token.
launch a token.
Okay.
But if you do, call me.
So he's the guy for the tokenomics who knows things and who would definitely help you make money. And maybe someday, when he helps you, your startup will also get help.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh. So any last words for the viewers that you want to say? Like something that any plug? What do you want to plug in? What do you want to say about yourself?
Just pray for my goodwill. That's it. I don't need to. You can follow me on Twitter, but you're not going to like it. I post very controversial things, so I'm not even going to tell you my Twitter name. But just be happy.
When he say pray for me, it's like Elon Musk telling us, help me buy a Tesla. It was nice having you, Bux.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And guys, I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye. Take care. See you.
Thank you.